Right. Hello, Facebook. Welcome to the Adobe Benelux Facebook page, where we are live from Kortrijk, where their Bump Festival is going on right now. And in the next 60 minutes, we're going to have the privilege of having Little Miss Robot competing on a creative jam. And basically, they're not really going to be competing. They're going to be doing a creative jam, like jamming together, because you're all friends, right? You don't, right? Yeah. All right. So during the 60 minutes, we're going to see them work on a theme that I'm going to be unveiling in just a few minutes. And we're going to learn a little bit more about the conference. There's going to be interviews during the 60 minutes. So again, welcome to this live stream. And let's begin with the creative jam. And let's unveil the theme. You look like you're the boss. So
that's my role in the team.
That's your role in the team. Okay.
Okay.
So,
exciting.
Okay, so you want to read it out loud?
Okay, it's a quote. It's a quote by Pablo Picasso. Every act of creation is first an act of destruction.
All right. Are you guys inspired by that?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Because what these people did when they preparing the jam, they completely destroyed the jam table already. They put the computers in their own way and stuff like that. So that's pure creativity. So guys, you have 60 minutes. All right. Okay.
Bump Festival is like the first time we run this event here in Kortrijk. And it's over 600 people coming over to our little town here to hear inspiring talks from international speakers about creative coding, technology, design, motion graphics, etc.
All right, so basically what we've already done in this morning, we already had 2 creative jams where we had teams competing, student teams, and their work is actually hanging on the wall behind me. And this is going to be the wall where, at the end of the day, all the works that have been produced during the creative jams here at the Bump Festival in Kortrijk will be hanging, and there will be a jury which will be voting for the best creative jam work that was created today. And like we've just found out, the theme was the same for everybody, and we're going to be seeing the results. So let's just go to the main stage, because that's where all the action is happening and where the conferences are being delivered right now. Ah, okay. We came back from the main stage already? Okay, so that was a quick glimpse of the main stage. Who was on the main stage? Is there anybody on the main stage? Okay, awesome. So we actually saw somebody on the main stage. Let's just go have a quick look at the works that were produced this morning before we actually go into meeting Little Miss Robot a little bit better. So every act of creation is first an act of destruction, all right? And this is some of the work that was produced this morning. And oh, okay. And we have a video to show that. Just. All right, so we're back here in the in the Adobe Lounge, where everything is happening here at the Bump Festival in Kortrijk. So we have, of course, incredible speakers downstairs in the big hall. But here in the Adobe Lounge, we have the creative jams going on. And for the next 56 minutes, we have Little Miss Robot jamming, because they all work together, and they're going to be working together to create something that actually reflects the theme that I've just unveiled. Every act of destruction is first an act of creation. And you wrote it 2 times, just in case. Ah, okay. No. Ah, all right. Okay, all right. Hey, so why don't you talk to us a little bit about Little Miss Robot?
Yeah, first of all, welcome.
I love the name.
Thank you. First of all, thanks for having us. And we get that a lot, that people say, it's a nice name, what does it stand for? And it's actually, it represents both creativity and technology. Creativity is represented by our little miss, who is dreaming of a better world. And via our robot, we turn technology into cool stuff, let's say. So what we essentially do is help teams around the world design better software with the latest technologies to improve their current products and services, or to reinvent themselves. And we approach it from a design perspective. We believe that if things look good, if they are enjoyable, people will feel good about it. And in all essence, that's what we believe the power of creativity is all about, actually.
All right, and where are you guys based, for all of our friends on Facebook watching us live now?
We're based in Ghent, Belgium.
Oh, that's not very far away from here, actually.
No, it's actually a half-hour drive, so it feels like a home game for us today, which is nice. We've been around for almost 7 years now, and for the people who know Belgium a little bit, Ghent is very well known for its creative industry. It's hipster scene even a bit. So yeah. No, I shaved my beard yesterday, because I thought maybe I'll look better without a beard on TV. But maybe that's the first act of destruction.
Do they have the beards? No, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And did you guys come to the because the Bump Festival used to be called Multimedia, right?
Yeah.
In the past years, for how many years was Multimedia?
It's been around for quite a few years. I think over 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a well-known organization in Belgium. It's the biggest conference actually on all things digital creative, let's say. The cool thing is that it's actually a team behind the scenes that also gives lectures and runs a school. And Multimedia was actually always on our agenda as well. We always awesome. Attended, and especially, of course, for speakers, but also because there's always things like this going on as well. It's a bit more than just a few speakers in a dark room, let's say.
Yeah. Awesome. So I guess you're going to be rooting for your guys here.
Of course.
Let me just move around with the camera a little bit. I'll be right back. And what I just wanted to show our friends on Facebook, feel free to comment here. We're, of course, live, and I'm reading the comments. I just wanted to show you over here all the technology that we have to actually produce this stream, all right? So basically, we have all the video cameras, we have the streaming people, the audio people, and people cutting video at the very end there. So this is what it takes to do this live stream here today on Facebook. So let me just move back to our contestants here, and let's start finding out how they're actually working on their project, and how they're planning to solve the problem, the riddle. The every act of destruction is first an act of creation. Do you want to talk while you're doing? Like, what are you doing exactly?
I'm just.
You can continue doing.
Yeah, I'm just fucking everything a little bit up. I like to fuck things up in my personal life and in creative.
Okay. So, all right. So basically, you're handling the typography, and you're doing graphics for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then everything is going to come together in the end. Okay.
That's the plan.
Okay. And is this the first time you work on a CT?
No. I have one on my own. It's the smaller version. So this is like the premium, the mother.
All right. Okay. So I think in the stream we actually see, you know, like side by side exactly how the screens work. Okay. And the interesting thing about these creative jams when they're streamed is that we can actually really observe, you know, how designers work, how they think about a task that was given just a few minutes ago, and I'm really, you know, looking forward to seeing the results. Let me check if there's any comments here. I'm gonna send a little heart. Okay. It's all about the hearts. Okay. And
so someone else is trying to print it and then you it's like yeah, I said we just don't want
Bij stok hebben we niet gekeken. Ik heb gewoon gekeken van de doodskop. Ik heb gewoon gekeken van de doodskop. Dat is de vierde kant aan de doen. Ik heb dat... Zat er nog een maat in. Zoals het nu is. Nu... dat is wel 8. En dat gaat... Ja, inderdaad. Het is toch omdat straks als je iets maar ja, die moet weg dat al zo wat stress wordt. Ik ben al benieuwd. Wat? Het is van smoke. Ik ga je wel voor kleurtjes bij elkaar. Dus ik weet niet waar dat gaat uitkomen. Maar inderdaad, misschien wel goed al geen twee. Ja, en dat is ook gewoon leuk. Ik vind ook het letterlijk dat dat wel niet is. Als hij straks nog eens passeert, is misschien ook nog een uitdag waar je letterlijk wat toe bent. Ja. Ja, dat is wel al de koers van mijn jaar.
all right, so like I said earlier, I mean, now we have the Crave Jam happening behind me, of course, but like I said earlier, there's also a great set of speakers that came to the Bump festival here in Kortrijk. And I have the great honor to be sitting here with Clem, coming directly from Barcelona, right?
Yeah, right. Hello, the honor is mine. So yeah. So here from Barcelona, yeah, I came yesterday. They took really good care about the speakers, and yeah, I just did the talk like a few minutes ago. Yeah.
So what was your talk about?
It was about my personal, professional projects that I'm doing on my, working hours, trying to do like more work that I like, and so then I can evolve as a professional. Yeah.
So what were like the key points of your talk? I know we don't have slides or images to show, but
The key points, I would say that I try to motivate people somehow and to encourage people to produce their own work and personal work. Like there are no excuses allowed, like no time or no motivation or fears. You shouldn't listen to these things, and you should locate like at least like Google does like 20% of your time on your company to produce personal work.
so how big is your or small is your company?
It's just me. That's small.
So you're consulting to other companies and telling them how to work better, how to be more creative.
No, I'm not doing this, but what I'm doing is collaborating with other professionals, graphic designers, animators, directors, and I'm also represented in the States and France for different production companies, so I can have my clients as a director of audiovisual and motion graphics. Yeah, so I do this.
So if people want to find out about you, where do you think, where would you send them?
I would send them first probably to my Instagram, I am Klim. Yeah.
I am Klim. I am Klim.
Yes, and iamklim.com, my webpage, and that's it. There, I would send them there.
We'll go there right when we finish this interview. But I have a few questions here, and okay, you mentioned creativity and fear, not fearing, like jumping into your creative activities. So if you had to give creativity a definition, what would it be?
Whoa, that's complicated. Creativity on itself is said to create something, right? So I think that is using your personal experiences and your background to experiment and to produce work. Like it can be, from illustration to motion graphics or whatever your field is. But yeah, I would say creativity is about forgetting fears and stuff and just do things, whatever it comes to your mind, and enjoy the process as well.
Is there a technique that you would like advise, our viewers like to adopt, not to have fear? Because I know that fear is, especially here with a very young audience and with a lot of students here at the Bump Festival. Of course, fear is a big thing in their lives right now, because looking at the future, what's happening?
Yeah, it is. Well, actually, I learned that as a human, everyone has fears, and you have just to accept it. You will live in fear all the rest of your life until you die. So why?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that. But yeah, so at the end, you're just like, come on. If everyone has fears, so like then it becomes something like normal that you just have to fight, and to if something scares you, that's when you have to do this thing to improve yourself. So just put the fears somehow on the side, and even if it's like a little step, just do it, and you're gonna fight your fear. So, yeah.
Did you ever do bungee jumping?
No, I'm really scared about it.
You have to leave the fear behind you.
No, I know. I'm talking about the professional life, but yeah, no.
So how important is technology in your daily life, in your creative life?
Well, technology, if you take it as we are all using computers and laptops and smartphones, so that would be the technology that I'm using and the softwares that I'm using. I'm not like a really techie guy. I'm not animating myself, or I don't really do this job, but technology allowed us to produce the work that we are doing. Before, people were taking ages to produce things, and now it's really easy, and is a time saver and allows you to do a lot of things that you cannot do before. So
yeah, we're at Adobe, like we call it like from idea to done. Like yeah.
Yeah, totally. Just like you just almost, and actually I think that technology is becoming like senseless. I don't know how to put it in English, but it becomes like easier and easier to use softwares, and allows a lot of people to actually become a graphic designer or whatever.
So you come from Barcelona, which is one of my favorite cities because it's so inspiring. But I live in Florence, so it's also a very inspiring city. But in different kinds of ways. So how do you how do you get inspiration? Like, how does Barcelona still inspire you, or?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like in different projects, you can find different things from your daily life. Like for example, now I was doing a project about a calendar that I'm producing, a customizable calendar. And some of the content of this calendar, for example, is they are mosaics inspired in Barcelona, things like that. But also, now we are living in a world that you get inspired by a lot of different things everywhere. You can check them out constantly on your phone. But still, my background, my family, your childhood, everything becomes part of yourself. So somehow you just drink from it. So,
yeah, it's like all about experience, right? And one thing that I always think about when I think about creativity is that creativity is really the sum of all your experiences, visual, sensory, audio, and all these things that then come together. And the more experience, the more things you have experienced, the more creative you can be.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. And also, but creativity as well is not about what you have material-wise. It's about, your brain and how you think and how you see things. And this is just comes from yourself. So it's such a personal experience, right? So is your life what is drawing you? So,
do you have any techniques to inspire your clients? Like, or do you sometimes, like, have this need to actually, to push them, like, to make them forget their fears?
What I do with my clients is I always try to explain a lot my work and my process to make them understand that creativity is not something that you just do for no reason. It's something that you have to, when you are working on a professional project, you have to, I try to explain everything in a way that client understand that everything comes there for a reason. And nothing is gratuitous or for free. So yeah, I try to educate my clients in this direction. I have huge presentations, pitches and stuff, and mostly all of them have few pages of actually wording and explaining everything, the concept, the illumination, everything on it. Yeah.
So if you had one killer tip for our audience today and for the people here at the Bump Festival, what would it be like? What would you like to say?
A killer tip, I would say, fight your fears, find time, and find your own motivation to produce your own work, because it's what will make you happy.
Happiness. Awesome. And I am Clem on Instagram, right?
Yes.
I am Clem. I'm going to check that out right away. Thank you so much for your time, and
Thank you, guys.
see you soon. All right. Okay, and we're going to be back now checking what's happening at the Creative Jam and see a little bit of the progress that's happening there. All right?
Ja, tot een Duits, hè. Nee, maar het is wat we doen. De eerste dat gewoon is. En alles komt. Maar nazi staat rond. Dus dat is iets minder. Wat doe je voornamelijk met VC is wel wat minder. De shortcuts, hè. Switchen naar tools, switchen naar uw opacity. Ja, jawel, maar ik ben wel zo een die mij zo wat optie van alle dingen in te stellen. En dat is vreselijk. Ja, maar dat is tegelijkertijd is dat vreselijk stom, hè. Want
dat je dat in de vingers hebt, misschien wel simpeler van
ja, dat
lijkt me leuk om
ja, maar ja, toch, je moet gewoon al die deftig instellen. En dan zit er wel met een learning curve.
net zo in deze stijl hoor.
Ja?
Dan toe of die stretch.
Dat is vrij grappig, maar ik ben niet de eerste die dat zegt. En ik ben ook wel zo'n beetje bezig met dat te leren. Maar dat is een heel ander stil, hè.
Ja, maar toch, de manier waarop je het doet, zo leed je dan wel een beetje.
Ja, wel, ik heb ik heb het een keer geprobeerd op zo.
Zelf, dat doe je zelf. Oké. Niet dat je zegt, maar dat werkt.
Ja, maar ja, als je het aan iemand anders aan geeft, zet het zo.
Je moet de armrekening houden en alles is vervoerd.
En je zit zo wel wat aan een stijlje en je wilt het dan niet uit de hand geven.
Dat kun je, het is voor de rest van zijn leven, dat blijft.
Ja, dat is soft.
Rekening mee zijn,
De structure. Dat wel ook wel stress bij is.
dat blijft ook. Dat moet je doen.
Nee, nou, dat is moeilijk, hè.
Ja, ik vind dat wel chic. In Angolan vind ik er wat over zijn bloem, maar wat.
Ja, maar dat is dan wel.
We zijn ook wel
Zoen, nee. Ja, maar die gast is wel vol, hè.
Zij zijn wenkbrauwen zo, klein stuk.
Ja. Zet er nog niks op, hè.
Nee, maar ik dacht... Ik kan een keer eigenlijk een screenshot en
Dat zie ik graag. Stukjes van Lab 9. Van met zijn. Dat is goed.
Ja?
Nog één, nog één.
als ik tijd heb, kun je een screenshot maken.
Ja. Ik kan wel de gouden band geven. Ik weet niet wat er wordt gebleven.
Ik vroeger altijd tegen als ik op de zonneloos en broodskop gesteken ben, was er zo een arm gedaan maken en je hebt een blikje Fanta. Als je nog tijd hebt,
Ja. Waarom niet, hè?
maar dat gaat het anders wel. Dat Piet Pirant. Maar dat wil eigenlijk ook snel in de stop. Ik vind dat wel straf hoe snel dat je dat
Ik wil dat spel hebben.
Hoeveel kost dat zo wat op?
Ik denk, wel, ik denk dat die 2500 voor een drie moet. Is Joris weg? Joris niet terugkomen?
Ga je een drankje pakken?
Oké.
Joris is klaar, moet jij nog.
Ik heb echt mijn leven als je te veel dingen optrekt. Dat is meestal niet meer. Ja, ze maken ook geen overleven geprobeerd. Ze is nog toch een...
Zit kan je misschien tanden tegen.
Dan laten we dat even staan. Alles kan, alles kan.
Snapchat voor een uur. Spellen de mannen die zijn gewoon een beetje jammen aan het doen. Serieus? Eigenlijk weet ik van dat. Ik wil dat niet voor het thema. Het zou wel echt
zo chill zijn met mij screenshots kunnen doen. Dus dat kan je typen daar wel.
Zaal, zo chill. Eigenlijk wil zij stuur met een screenshot.
En dan gaat hij met die dat is wel wat doen.
They can explain a bit what they're can we bring it together for the first time?
Yeah.
Yes, if Rufus interviews you, then we can tell a bit what we have been doing and what's the vision.
1 minute? Okay.
1 minute.
Wel, bereik gewoon één pluim, hè. Zo lijntjes tussenin, daar kunnen we ook zo aan mee spelen. Zo typografische elementjes in niet echt.
So with the guests, we beginnen.
Ja.
Topic and the birds. En moeten daar die compilatie een beetje aan opgebouwd. En daarna kunnen jij dat hier een beetje doen. Ja, ik heb gewoon zeggen van dat is eigenlijk het woord. I'm still finding. Ja. That's how I roll. Dan maak ik gewoon een beetje stof. Zo, als het kan lukt zijn, dat laat je dan met de samen komen. Dus dat is het allemaal.
Ja, maar kijk, ik ben nu al aan het aanzetten van layers en aan het kijken hoe dat zo.
Kun je het zelf al drinken gestopt?
Een beetje water. Ja.
All right, so now we're about 30 minutes into the Creative Jam here at the Bump Festival in Kortrijk, and I think this is a good opportunity to see, you know, where we're at. And I think who can tell me a little bit about, you know, what you guys are doing?
Well, we chose for like death and life because it's part of creating and destruction. Like the ever turning continuous flow of life, and I'm trying to combine now the skull being symbol for death with some more lively things like the feathers of a bird. It's kind of suggestive, but I think it might work. And so now we're gonna try to combine the typography with the image.
Right. So basically, you actually created that whole illustration in Photoshop and using like brushes and like.
Use like one brush, just a regular brush, because I think it's a bit overrated. Different brushes. I think you should work with the things you get.
Just one.
Just one, and then hope for the best.
How about you?
I'm still doing the same thing. Fucking shit up.
Working on the same project.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going okay, but I'm curious to put everything together in one composition.
Okay.
So.
All right. So that's your next steps, guys, right? To put together the text and the image. All right. So.
Is it an idea to involve the people who are watching and help us, for instance, choose which type of typography we'll put in the canvas? Yeah, we can try. If maybe within a few minutes we can share it and people can tell us what they like.
Okay, I'll be back. So I'll be back shortly. I think we're gonna be setting up for another interview now. So I have Yuko here, who is an incredible illustrator, and we're gonna be talking with her in just a few minutes. So stay tuned.
Ik niet.
Snapchat,
Doe gerust, hè. Naar mij moet je niet kijken.
Stop jongen. Ja, je bent goed bezig. En die horizon.
Maar hij is ook goed bezig, Thomas. Jij bent ook goed bezig, Thomas.
Hoe water staat daar?
Ja, merci trouwens.
Werken we met twee kleuren? Kleur verleden en dood?
Ik heb geen idee. Die kleuren zitten er niet goed eigenlijk. Vind ik.
Ik heb drank gebracht net. Ik heb gezegd dat ze moeten doen alsof dat ze gaan amuseren.
Dat is wat zoveel wijs is, omdat we geen stress hebben.
Ik heb gewoon in het begin een beetje geïntroduceerd. En ik ben nu een beetje sommige worden weggemaakt.
Ah, is waar? En zelfs. Dus naar een post
Tijd op de Snapchat jongens, dus ik denk, ik ga al een week zo op de
En het is alles allemaal live te volgen mensen.
Maar ik stond dus ook goed bezig met illustratie.
Ik heb ook net zo net even los met de vraag van
Ik heb een beetje met geleerd, ik heb hem allemaal geëxposed en uitgezocht.
nee,
In de clip. Ik kan niet meer.
Hij wil goed en... Oh ja,
Rijdende bak om de dag.
Even in de war met ja,
Ik heb ook gevraagd, en dat vind ik
ja, want maar hij
heel belangrijk is in een verhaal een link tussen die bedrijf en de klant. En de zorgenlijst, dat ze gewoon zo goed
maar dood is gewoon makkelijk te betekenen.
ah, doe het eens gewoon. Ja, ja.
Ik wel aan de kiezer.
Ja, ja. Maar mag zijn nog niet best?
Nee, maar we gaan we samen.
Ah ja.
Joris, wat voor blauwe hij heeft.
Echt goed blauw. Zo knalblauw.
Met straks ook nog.
Waar is het voor ons te voelen? Dat gewoon bezig met de muziek. Ja, maar kunnen we gewoon bezig. En dan every. Just een woordje every. Wat gaan we nu doen?
Right, so you were here live again on at the Bump Festival in Kortrijk. And my next guest is Yuko Shimizu, an incredibly talented illustrator who I'm really anxious to see you guys meet. So, Yuko, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, is this your first time in Belgium?
Actually, it's my second time, but yes, almost the first. I've never been to this town.
How is the conference going so far?
It's great. I woke up early. I'm jet lagged. It's a little hard, but I'm trying.
All right. And have you had your talk already?
No, it's in the afternoon. So.
Can you tell us a little bit about what your talk is going to be about?
Yes, so it's basically about doing your personal work in your actual work, and how to do it. So that's what I'm going to talk about.
Okay, so do you have any, can you tell us a little bit about that concept of how you make these two things live together?
Sure. Okay, well, I want everyone to come to my talk, but I can talk a little bit. So I think there are you kind of have to decide what kind of artist you want to be at the beginning, and as hard as it is, I have to say no to a lot of things, because if it's not for me and I do it, then people will think I do anything. But then if I want to do what I want to do, then hard as it is, I have to say no to things that is not suitable for me. So like narrowing down to show who I am and what kind of work I do.
So you're pretty much a traditional illustrator, right? Do you use technology a lot?
It's half and half. So I'm an illustrator, and I draw everything on paper, the traditional way. And then I scan in, and everything that's color you see in my work is done on Adobe Photoshop.
Oh, so the coloring you do on the computer?
Yes, yes. So it's 50% hand, 50% Photoshop process.
Awesome. And then of course, depending on how big or large, small your illustrations will be, that's how you determine how big the Photoshop files will be.
Yes, yes. So when I work on like poster or billboards, it can get hard because like I have so many layers. But you know, the computer's better, like Adobe programs are better, so like it has gotten a lot easier for me. So like, you know, the file size usually when it's working file size with layers, it can go up to like 2.5 gigabytes. Yeah, so that's like, I won't say that's average, like somewhere between 1 gigabyte and 2.5 is average.
Great. And talking about creativity, how would you define creativity?
That's a hard one, but I think like everyone's creative, and like, you know, creativity is not like reserved for those people who are in the creative industry. Like anyone's creative, like any kid, like, or anyone, you know, like, oh, like, you know, I want to have a party, but I don't have enough silverware, and then you have to come up with something, and that's also creativity. And I don't know, a lot of people are intimidated, like creativity is not for me, but I think creativity is in everyone. And you know, like I live in US, and maybe US education is like teaching them like creativity is like reserved for certain people, but it is not, and it should not be. That's how I feel.
When I was a kid, I was told, my parents were told, your son is creative. He's no good for, he should go and do some apprenticeship or something. You know? So yeah, so creativity, yeah, but creativity, like you're right, it's like for everybody. Right?
For everybody. Like I think the time I felt the most creative is like not when I was drawing or like working on my files on the computer, but like when a friend was driving and the car broke down, but he had to leave and I don't have a driver's license, and like I have to somehow move the car because it was illegally parked, and I have to find a creative way to move it because I can't just drive and move it. And so like it's like a new problem that I have to solve, and what can I do? And like I felt so satisfied when the car went to the garage.
So is there, like, talking about finding solutions and being creative, is there any places or methods that you're using to be inspired?
To be inspired, like I think the best thing for me is like try to open myself up to things that normally that's not around me. So like coming to a festival like this, like, I was just talking about, wow, like these are the equipment for cameras because, like filming is not something I know. And then I'm here and I see speakers, I sit here and I see the person move the camera in a way that I never knew cameras move. And that's already inspiring, and a lot more so than, oh, I'm an illustrator, let me look at other illustrators' work. And that's just like trying to learn from people who are already in the field is too constrained. And how to make us more creative is actually see things that is not your norm and get surprised by it. I think that's the best way.
Great. If our audience wanted to find out more about you, what's the best way? What's the best place to go?
What's the best place to go? You mean like a social media? Yeah.
Like a website or Instagram? Or?
Website is yukoart.com. Instagram handle is yukoart. Twitter handle is yukoart.
Yuko Art. Everywhere.
Yuko are everywhere, but like Facebook isn't. I'm very active on Facebook, where like people can, like exchange information a lot more because there's like active comment section. You can type in like Facebook Yuko Shimizu and you can find me. Unfortunately, Yuko art was already taken, so
Yuko art was taken on Facebook.
right.
All right, so I advise everyone to go find out more about Yuko's work because it's really, really amazing. And what can I say? Good luck for your talk later today here at the Bump Festival, and talk to you soon. Thank you.
Dat is wel ook niet met. Ja, dat is ook nog wel klaar. Zoals jij wel wil ik in
Zeker. Dus we willen misschien dit van staf. De laatste aanvang staat het gewoon. Ze hebben het dan maar precies gegeven. Dat is straks dat is vrij ambetant. Ja? Hij zit hier met je handen en daar. Wij hebben... Het is... Maar die niet schepen dat is maar tijd. My job is done. Nee, maar dan afwerken. Maar ja, dat is natuurlijk zo moeilijk. Wij kunnen wat zoiets doen of iets. Pieker content? Ja. Ik ga nog een motief maken. 14 minuten. Ik ga een mooitje maken. Stof, doe nog een iteratie op de visual. En Joris zal dit dan maken. Ja, dat moet eigenlijk zo. Driehoek, hè. Ik weet niet zwart in het ook. Cool ook. Die gast... niets anders niet meer, die gast die zei van, als je wilt gewoon een keer leven, hè. Van wat, hè. Dan kun je dus gewoon doen, hè. Een week of 2 leven. Ja, goed, 2 wijs. Kan ik together? Ja. 2500. Maar er zit echt... Ja, ik heb dat niet gelijk. Wat? Nee. Alex is echt helemaal stof. Maar dat is een goed maar ja, met een prachtig. But on Facebook it depends on the time of day. Maybe that's not a very good time right now, but it's people are going to be watching it during the day. So the stats with Facebook that are interesting is the people that actually tune in. Yeah, the thing is Facebook Live is that whenever comment it stays when you watch it again, it's like
jawel, maar dat is gewoon dan de prijsklasse. En dat is echt... Hey, je ziet gewoon niet wat dat er onder nu gebeurt. Ja. Doe me, ik kan me weer een post. Ja.
Stof misschien kunnen we niet meer extreem. Ja, dat is een computer. Dat is goed zo. De tijd is vind ik het. Moet ik een beetje terug. Ja.
Ah, het zit stress in, hè. Voel het, hè.
Het enige dat we nog moeten doen is een patroontje afwerken.
Ja.
Je hebt nog meer dan 5 minuten.
Ik weet niet, misschien gaat dat patroontje veel te veel zijn. Het is wel te groot. Hoppa, het is weg. En het is back. Goed hè? Wat denkt hiervan? Eerst nu, eerst nu? Alleen de zuid gaat al niet tegen. Moet je gemakken vindt? Nee, ik ben niet aan het kijken. Ik weet niet dat...
Het is een dikke manier van chill uitkomen dat rigoureuse.
En ik
moet mij persoonlijk wel weggedaan uit dat misschien.
Maar die onderste, is die al weg?
Ik heb die zelf gedust gewoon. Ik weet niet of je nog van
die nacht komt, maar of je daar geen toegewaarde.
Ik vind het wel tof omdat het met dat roze, met dat wit aan de buitenkant en dat wit komt zo lekker terug.
Ja.
En dan heb je aan de binnenkant gewoon meer dat levendige.
Ik zal het zo erin steken. Ik denk dat dan ook.
Ja, en deze mag misschien weg.
Wat?
Nog 10 minuten.
Zo, dat is hey. Ik vind dat wel weg eigenlijk. Of vind je het dan te rood?
Ik vind dat wel tof.
Ja, vind ik ook wel.
Ik vind het veel beter.
Maar misschien een dubbele laag dan. En die pluimpjes uit zijn hoofd halen? Die
zijn hier misschien weg.
Nee.
Zo eentje naar boven en eentje omgedraaid.
Maar dat is echt girly. Ik weet niet meer wat niveau is. De vleugels.
Het ziet er uit als select aan het
Ik kan dat flatten.
Die dingetjes aan hoofd.
Ja.
Ja, dat is altijd
Maar zou je hem dan op de zijkant zetten of niet?
Ik zou het dan laten, anders zou het too much.
Ja, sorry. Tijd nog?
Alleen een beetje van een in een band. Het eerste liedje liet mijn drums dat boven de lucht vliegen.
Serieus?
Ja, dat was zo. Ik wist eigenlijk niet meer wat ik moest doen. En dan merk je op het podium.
Ja, dat is wel. Great. Ja, maar ik kan me dan voorstellen dat dat...
En we waren een fijne band en het speelde nog alles dubbel. Dus dat is van de show van een uur wat we nodig. You're good, man, you're good.
Nee, dat moet.
Ah ja, ik zie het. Ja.
Zalig. Hoe zijn wij? Jongen, zijn we niks vergeten? Wat moet je doen? Misschien moet je nu een tip geven? Of?
Ik dacht niet.
Het is een 0-2, hè? Als je het wel juist praat. schuiven aan, terwijl het niet op staat.
Ja, dat is wel waar.
Is bezig. Oh, veel gezegd. Nou, wit misschien iets te stijf. Het kan zijn dat wit misschien iets te wit in zijn ogen. Het komt wel zo wat meer samen. Hè. Goed. Zo een keer tijd, hè. Het wijs dat zijn ook van onderkaken, dat ik ze niet geven, dat lijkt alsof dat zo met zijn mond loopt. Ja. Dus ik ga dat streepje niet weg. Dus dan ook ik ga hij dat...
Ga je nieuw kapot maken dan?
Ik zal het kik gewoon wegdoen. Het is goed, hè?
Ja.
Ja. Hebben we? Weelde.
Ga ik dat wel
Mijn koffer is
Dat is al naast als je dan tussen zo'n plank Hoe zit hij met een passen?
Mag ik een keer dat seks? Oh shit, kijk het verkeerd.
Dat was zo lekker de laatste punt. Knal.
Dus zo. En zo in één stap ook flat.
Glorify.
Every act of destruction is first notification. Boom.
Kopt af.
Vanuit de Star Wars.
Ja. Is dat deel?
Ja.
Ik denk
Trouwens, dat ook wel wijs is geweest dat je heel die kopie samenzet. En dan wat ik daar straks zei, van, dat je zo een stuk van die illustratie overneemt. Wat moet daar niet doen?
Ja. Ah ja. Dat is ook goed, hoor.
Great.
Oei, heb ik het verkeerd gedaan? Ah,
Is dat jongens?
zo wat drijflettertjes, zo wat drijfdingetjes. Maar laat maar zo zijn.
Dat is goed, dat is goed. Ja. Wat zeg je? Dus dit is dan hoor.
Gewoon een stroke naar beneden. Of vinden wat we Nee, laat maar.
Nee, we gaan het opslaan.
Yes. Waar is die? Dan mogen wij gaan duwen.
We're gonna wait until the clock stops ticking.
Yeah. Can we press the button?
Yeah? All right. All right, guys. So, are you happy? Yes? Happiness is...
We had great fun.
Great fun? 60 minutes of rock and roll. And was it, like, how was it? Like, what?
It was really nice to collaborate because we never worked together before. So that was a challenge, but it was also like, yeah, an advantage in a way.
Cool. How about you?
Yeah, I kind of liked it. Even though there were some cameras and people watching, I'm not used to it, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, so a lot of people watching online as well, you know? Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. So who wants to give us a little, you know, story behind the piece you've just created?
Yeah, I can give you a word.
You grab a chair.
Okay. We kind of, Joris, to say it in his words, he kind of fucked up the quote by turning it around, and it's kind of our first setup, and then creation is in destruction. It's part of life, and it's also in there. The life by the feathers I used, and the death. Death is the skull, and so it's kind of cool. It's not very creepy because it's kind of girly, pinkish. So still, we try to act like real cool, yeah, skulls, but it's girly and pinky and feathers and shit. So.
All right. What's your comment?
Well, I'm very happy that we have a triangle in there, and that our quote is in white. That was very important for me. What I also liked is that we actually changed the quote itself. So we changed the destruction and the creation from a conceptual perspective, and I really like the balance between the girlish pinky thing and maybe a little creepiness behind the skull. So for 60 minutes, great fun, and I think we're all proud of the result. Yeah.
Yes? Yeah, nothing to add.
Nothing to add. All right, guys, what can I say? Thank you so much for participating. And I really like the fact that it was a jam, like you were doing some stuff and that you were doing some other stuff, and all that stuff came together. And like completely distorting the original quote, right? That's like an act of destruction, guys, and you just did it. All right. So let me just remind everybody that we're going to be live again in about an hour with Musketon and Dan Mumford doing a creative battle at that point, because they're going to be doing different things. It's not, but it's going to be friendly, I think. they like each other, so that it's going to be good. So in 60 minutes, we're going to be live here again on Facebook, but also on twitch.tv/Adobe, which is a great platform also to interact with both Dan and Musketon, because the chat is very, very interactive on Twitch. So see you guys in about 60 minutes. See ya.